And to the benefit of these special children, I have the pleasure of cutting the tape and doing the commissioning of the first phase of Louis Exceptional School Project.
The chairman, barrister, group captain, Adam, who is Daddy.
Your Excellency, Justice and Mrs. I, staff and students of this children with disabilities, Roseluyi Exceptional Students Academy, those of Isaac and also Roseluyi Foundation, and support. For the needs of this special Nigerian students, the methodology and the call with good sense of fulfillment, a complete day of fulfillment, only named after me, and most obliged and humble, eventually, compassion, integrity, and charity. You will try to make the world a better place. I want to get call on the two state government and go to them Nigeria.
Genius. So we're going to call her to read her speech. We decided to leave on General. Ngozi.
We have special teachers to take care of the students. For now, we have a sign language teacher, we have the health teacher, we also have the auxiliary nurse, house master and house mistress. The supervisor of the school, Mrs. Roseluyi, is well educated. She is a certified special education teacher, an American from the state of Florida. She is well known for taking good care of children with disabilities. The school has helped a lot of persons with hearing disabilities to understand that there is an ability in every disability. I mean the EBD and the hearing impaired, visual impaired, cerebral palsy patients. Roseluyi Exceptional Students Academy, RESA, has the hostel for the boys and it has a day school. It's a big place with different classes, media center, library, vocational training center, and dining. The teachers are well educated to their duties. As we all know, we just completed the first phase of the program, which is being commissioned today, 1st of April 2021. And we hope to complete the second and third phase of the grace of God. With God, we know all things will work for our good. We thank our daddy, Honorable Justice Isaac Aloyi, this day, if not for their prayers and support, we would not have come this far. God bless our daddy and mommy and everyone that has contributed to the benefits of ours.
The child was short of oxygen even for a second. It's something else. Now, she goes to the church, do Thanksgiving. The doctor said I should do surgery, but I didn't do it. I delivered safely. Then the child started growing. Not growing at the pace it's supposed to grow. Not walking when it's supposed to walk. Not even blabbing when it's supposed to blab. And they say, oh, now from Bel-Air they start to winch this kid. No. Which you refused at that initial stage to correct immediately. So it goes with that child. Some of them, maybe accidents or something, especially with autism.
Mrs. Aloyi is out of my busy schedule to be here. Yes, it's quite tight, quite busy as we're preparing for the sports festival and doing several things. But I cannot be that busy not to have time for the kind of course which this the cause of the vulnerable, the weak, the disadvantaged in our society. As far as I'm concerned, that is what politics and governance should be about. Government should not be for the strongest. Government should not be for the wealthiest. Government should be for those who are at the bottom and those who need help. And so that is why, for me, this is more important than whatever I'm supposed to be doing in Government House this morning. And for us in government, the need for special has been very much on the top of our priorities. And like I've come to realize in life and in governance, it is not about money. It is about capacity. It is about capacity. Do they have the capacity to do what they've been asked to do? And so when I see what our mommy, Mrs. Aluyi, is doing, I am just enthralled. I am so excited because I can't find it. So wherever I find it, and I found it in her, in this foundation, I believe that, and I know that it is my duty to support. We cannot say they have the kind of resources government has, but we're looking for this type of people to employ in government to take interest in our special children. And so I have decided that until we find, and even when we find, we will now support and almost adopt this school. I don't want to go into a very long speech this morning. I've come here to see for myself. This is the first time. I know you spoke to me about 2 years ago about this project, and I must say I'm truly impressed. And my presence here today must have meaning for these children. So I am instructing the permanent secretary who I asked to come to liaise with the school to give me the bill of quantities to complete this project. And it will be completed this year. Please be seated. I am also instructing the permanent secretary to now include as a line item in our budget, a subvention to this facility, to this school. So on an annual basis, government will subvent you just like we're doing for a few of that such foundations. And for me personally, it's a challenge. I have now decided that whoever the owner of the property next door, I am going to negotiate and buy that land for this school. Because this school will need to expand, grounds to play. They will need efforts. God will continue to bless you. God will continue to support you. Thank all of you.
If you want to keep my joy, God I say anything that you not God no not God no not God. I say my man get no pussy, Bring him. You support him.
Thank you, sir.
here present. Tamsek represents the chieftaincy affairs. Our representative, the regional representatives of the Nigerian Union, that we have rekindled our love affair. And of course, the government areas of Edo State. Good job, you. I also want to acknowledge the governor's committee, the governor put Jenkins, Osunde, outgone council chairman of Oregon State. Also here is the immediate past chairman of Agwele. I'm sure I have missed other people. Please pass on it. Your Excellency of appointed education consultants with Education Secretary. If you look at it, Your Excellency, you will find that from the first day to the last day, the training went through the gamut. On the first day, we started by going over the organogram of today, and then also looking at the 5 pillars of Adobe and relating that to the work that the ESA are expected to be doing in their various local government areas. So we talked about primary education and looked at the landscape of basic education and their responsibilities as education secretaries. We went over the shadow, the work responsibilities of education secretaries, and we also gave them time throughout the training to do some hands-on activities. So they were able to work together and design the organogram of their local government education authority. There were learning modules on communication, effective communication, teamwork, planning. They also had a very substantive section on the rules of the civil service and what the ideal civil servant or public servant should be like. So there was a lot that they went that was impacted in the course of these 2 weeks. What was most important to us, Your Excellency, was that in the course of the onboarding process, the Education Secretary become firmly entrenched in your vision to reenact basic education. And so, as part of the training, they also went through the pillars of the Edo State Government Reform Initiative. Who can tell us the meaning of MEGA? We can hear you. Thank you. Good job, you. So, we were also, they were the heads of personnel, the accountants of the various local government areas, education authorities, the heads of section, quality assurance, school support services, social mobilization, planning, research, statistics and technology, and project and physical planning. Together, we had close to 200 people at various times in the last 2 weeks being trained. Yeah. So they've done the training. The now outgone education secretary handed over to the new education secretary this morning. And they are all expected to go back home at the end of this Easter break and to hit the ground running. Your Excellency, on behalf of the board of the State Universal Basic Education Board and my colleagues on the board, I want to express our profound thanks to you, elected this education secretary. Your Excellency, a round of applause for them. They have to write an assessment test. In a 75% is the pass mark in a Nobel. We had 2 education secretaries tie at third place, education secretary of Esako West and the education secretary.
By the grace of God, including members of the Nigerian Union of Teachers who are in your midst. I say teachers because as education secretaries, education managers, you are all teachers. I say if you know how to read and write, you should thank your teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, you will all agree with me that, like I said, this is truly revolutionary. Every system requires one key resource to operate. We always make the mistake. We think it's about money. No. It's about people. It's people that make things happen. People make money. Money does not make people. So for any society that intends to witness rapid transformation, the key emphasis should be on its people. And for us in Edo State, it was obvious from day one when we came into office in 2016 that a major problem, as we analyzed it, is not one of resources. It's not one of endowments. It is what had happened to our people, particularly over the last 3 decades. And that factor that has always given us an edge locally and internationally, which is education, we had ignored it. We had played politics with our education, just like in most parts of the country, particularly basic education, which is the foundation on which learning rests. So we were very clear from the beginning, just as we are as clear today, that the key to our progress, the key to reenacting who we are, the key to being that great place that we've been, great people we've been over the centuries, is education. Training the minds and bodies of our young ones from the foundation. If, as I've always said, that child is made conversant and made to be self-assured in learning to spell, learning to string their words together, learning to think in a logical manner, if that child is taught their sums to add at a very basic level with confidence, to do those things, the foundations on which everything else that they will learn in life is going to be built on. Once you solidify that child, then you have made that child. So we are very clear as a government that that's the priority. Like you've heard us say, for us, even during the elections, we made it clear. We are not about winning the next election. For us, it's more about winning the next generation. And when we started in 2016, little did we know that a pandemic like COVID will occur. Look at what the world is today. Today, our world has changed. It's now a world that is emphasizing your competence and capacity. Everybody has its own challenge. So you have to stay where you are and make your own system work for you. So that whole idea of, it doesn't matter, things are bad here, we can escape. You cannot escape again. We now have to make this work. And from what we have seen in the last 4 years, it can be done. It is not rocket science. Because you have already started it. Therefore, the last 2 weeks, as far as I'm concerned, is taking us to this next gear, because we are already accelerating. We now want to step up to the next gear so that we can rev up and increase our pace and speed of progress. I am not surprised at what I've seen. I'm not surprised at today and the outcomes. What I'm glad about is that we've tried something. We said, even within the political mix, you can still use merit. You can still get the best to do what you want them to do. So I want to thank members of the committee who helped us in the selection of our education secretaries. We didn't bring anybody from outside the state, did we? We are using the same people who have been there. All we have done is to tinker with the system, to change that structure, which failed to recognize merit, which failed to acknowledge that we are all equal. That merit that produced this whole concept of godfatherism, that when you do not know somebody, when you do not have people, no matter how good you are, you will not be recognized or you will not excel. That system is what has brought us to where we are. And I'm glad that the people of Edo know it. And they all came out on September 19th to say, never would we have some characters who call themselves godfathers to dominate our lives. When we started, and it was the same language, let's emphasize education. But little did we know that some of them did not even go to school about buildings. They did not know that education transcends buildings, the physical structure, that it's actually about the human mind. We thank that we have passed through that process, and may we never go back to our dark ages. So that we can achieve certain outcomes. Underneath every transformation is governance. The person or people you put in charge of a system will determine. Now we are diving, that is where they go to school. So we are now diving deeper to make sure that the governance system for education in the local governments, which will subsequently translate to governance in the schools, is one that is not only robust, but also transparent and has integrity. So we've done what we proud of what we've done at the state level. SUBEB has been more than impressive. Now we need to go to the next level, the local governments. And that's why we've gone through the very diligent process of hiring you. I will fire you if you do not achieve. We are going to invest in you. We've started it. We're going to continue to train you. I hope this is just the first in a series. That it has to be a continuous training, learning, and development process. But we're going to have spent system for anybody, any local government, that government are not coping or are not up to the par, then we will drop you. And on this assessment, on an annual basis, transparently. Because no godfather gave you this job. It is your talent, what we believe you are, that gave it to you. So you must go back there and do the work. Do you understand? Yes. None of you, nobody spoke to me as an education secretary. You got this job on your own merits. Is that clear? Yes. So nobody outside of God cannot tell you what to do. You understand? Yes. So if you come in and say, well, so and so said, no, you're on your own. The rules are clear. The system is clear. Your outputs and the outcome we expect from you are clear. Yes, you are going to be operating in a political environment. But it is not politics that gave you this job. The last presentation emphasized data, emphasized information. Sitting in a Benin City here, I will call for, and I will be looking at the data. So if I find out that a child has been absent from school for a while, and the system has not followed up on that child for us to know what is going on with that child, then somebody will be in trouble. We will be tracking our top performing kids. So from that dashboard of about 3 to 500,000 of them over the next 3-4 years, we want to test 150 to 200,000 of them and watch them for life. We'll watch everybody, but those ones you want to give special incentives to. Because my goal is that by the time I retire, we should be able to produce the best engineers, the best doctors, the best, aeronauts from this state. And that responsibility is in your hands. And I believe and I pray and trust that God will not fail us. Amen. I want to congratulate each and every one of you and to tell you that I am really, really hopeful. And leave you with the same charge I left with the current SUBEB board the day I inaugurated them. That God is watching you. God that has given you the lives of these children is watching you. It's now up to you and your God to take care of these children. Thank you.